Not in the rejections themselves, but in all the opportunities never pursued, the dreams never chased, the authentic self never expressed, because the fear of rejection kept it locked away. The irony is profound. In trying to avoid rejection, you reject yourself before anyone else gets the chance. You become your own worst enemy, your harshest critic, your most limiting force. But what if rejection wasn't something to avoid? What if it was actually the key to unlocking the person you're meant to become? The hidden gift in every no. Here's what no one tells you about rejection. It's not random. Every no you receive carries valuable information if you're brave enough to decode it. That job rejection might be showing you skills you need to develop. That romantic rejection might be revealing patterns in how you present yourself. That business idea being dismissed might be highlighting market realities you hadn't considered. But here's the deeper truth. Rejection is a filter. It separates those who are serious about their goals from those who are just casually interested. It weeds out the half-hearted, the uncommitted, the ones who are looking for easy validation rather than genuine achievement. When someone says no to you, they're actually doing you a favor. They're showing you that this particular path, at this particular time, with this particular approach, isn't the right one. They're forcing you to get better, to dig deeper, to become more than you currently are. Think about the most successful people in any field. They don't have fewer rejections in their past. They have more. Walt Disney was fired from a newspaper for lacking imagination. Steven Spielberg was rejected from film school 3 times. Oprah Winfrey was fired from her first television job for being too emotionally invested in her stories. The difference isn't that they didn't face rejection. The difference is that they developed a different relationship with it. They learned to see rejection as redirection, as course correction, as the universe's way of saying, "Not this way, try another." But there's an even more profound gift hidden in rejection. It forces you to develop an internal sense of worth that can't be shaken by external opinions. When you've been rejected enough times and survived, when you've learned that your value doesn't depend on other people's approval, you become unstoppable. This is what the Stoics called the invincible self, the part of you that remains untouched by external circumstances. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength." Every rejection is an opportunity to exercise this power, to prove to yourself that you can handle disappointment and keep moving forward. It's training for the kind of mental toughness that turns ordinary people into extraordinary ones. The psychology of the rejection-proof mind. What separates those who crumble at the first no from those who use rejection as fuel? The answer lies in what psychologists call cognitive reframing, the ability to change how you interpret events. People who are destroyed by rejection see it as personal, permanent, and pervasive. They think, "I was rejected because I'm not good enough." Personal. "I'll never be accepted." Permanent. "Nothing ever works out for me." Pervasive. But those who thrive despite rejection, or because of it, see it differently. They make it impersonal. This wasn't the right fit. Temporary. This timing wasn't right. And specific. This particular opportunity didn't work out. This isn't just positive thinking. It's accurate thinking. The truth is that most rejections have nothing to do with your inherent worth and everything to do with timing, fit, resources, preferences, or 1,000 other factors you can't control. When a publisher rejected the first Harry Potter book, it wasn't because J.K. Rowling was a bad writer. It was because that particular publisher, at that particular moment, with their particular business needs and personal tastes, didn't see the potential. 12 publishers said no before one said yes. Was she worthless for the first 12 rejections and suddenly valuable after the 13th? The rejection-proof mind understands this logic. It knows that one person's no is not the universe's verdict on your worth. It's just one data point in a much larger equation. But developing this mindset requires practice. It requires intentionally exposing yourself to small rejections so you can build up your tolerance. This is why some entrepreneurs deliberately seek out rejection. They know it's making them stronger. Jia Jiang, who became famous for his 100 Days of Rejection experiment, discovered something powerful. The more he was rejected, the less it hurt. Not only that, but he got better at making requests, more creative in his approaches, and more confident in his interactions. The very thing he feared became his greatest teacher. This is the paradox of rejection training. By seeking what you fear, you discover it's not as dangerous as you thought. By voluntarily facing small rejections, you build immunity to the bigger ones that matter. The art of strategic rejection. Here's where this gets really interesting. Once you understand rejection, you can start using it strategically. You can learn to reject others in ways that help them grow, and you can position yourself to get rejected by the right people for the right reasons. Let me explain what I mean. Not all rejections are created equal. Being rejected by someone who doesn't understand your vision is different from being rejected by someone who sees your potential but thinks you need more development. Being turned down because you're ahead of your time is different from being dismissed because you're unprepared. The most successful people learn to read between the lines of rejection. They ask follow-up questions. What would need to change for this to be a yes? What am I missing? Who would be a better fit for this? They turn rejection into market research, into coaching, into networking opportunities. But here's the advanced level. Sometimes you want to be rejected by certain people. If someone who represents everything you don't want to become accepts you enthusiastically, that might be a red flag. If someone whose values don't align with yours wants to hire you, that might not be the victory it seems. Strategic rejection means understanding that not every yes is good for you and not every no is bad. It means developing the wisdom to know which rejections to learn from and which ones to simply ignore. This is what the Stoics meant when they talked about preferred indifference. Outcomes that might seem desirable but don't actually determine your happiness or success. Getting accepted by the wrong person can be more damaging than being rejected by the right one. When you reach this level of understanding, rejection stops being something that happens to you and becomes a tool you use. You start seeing patterns, making adjustments, and positioning yourself more strategically. You develop what I call rejection intelligence, the ability to extract maximum value from every no. The transformation from victim to victor. The ultimate goal isn't to never be rejected. It's to transform your relationship with rejection so completely that it becomes a source of strength rather than suffering. This transformation happens in stages, and each stage requires you to let go of old beliefs about what rejection means. Stage 1 is acceptance, understanding that rejection is inevitable and not necessarily meaningful. Everyone gets rejected. It's not personal, it's statistical. The more you try, the more you'll be turned down, and that's completely normal. Stage 2 is utilization, learning to extract value from every rejection. What can this teach me? How can I use this feedback? What opportunity might this create? Every no becomes raw material for your improvement. Stage 3 is immunity, reaching a point where rejection still registers but doesn't wound. You feel it, you process it, you learn from it, and you move on. Your sense of self-worth becomes independent of other people's opinions. Stage 4 is mastery, using rejection strategically, seeking it out when it serves your goals, and even learning to reject others in ways that help them grow. You understand rejection as a natural part of any meaningful pursuit. But there's a fifth stage that few people reach: transcendence. This is where rejection becomes irrelevant, not because you don't care, but because you've become so aligned with your authentic self that external validation is unnecessary. You're not trying to be accepted by everyone because you know that being true to yourself will naturally attract the right people and repel the wrong ones. At this level, rejection is not something you overcome. It's something you integrate. It becomes part of your strength, part of your story, part of what makes you uniquely capable of helping others who are struggling with the same challenges you once faced. This transformation isn't just personal, it's practical. People who have mastered rejection become more confident, more creative, more resilient. They take bigger risks because they're not afraid of bigger failures. They pursue their authentic goals rather than settling for what seems safe. They become the kind of people who inspire others, not because they never face rejection, but because they've learned to dance with it. They show others that it's possible to be fully human, vulnerable, hopeful, ambitious, while also being strong enough to handle whatever response the world gives them. The rejection-proof life. What would your life look like if you were completely immune to the fear of rejection? What would you ask for? What would you try? What dreams would you pursue if you knew that being told no couldn't hurt you? This isn't a hypothetical question. It's a design question. Because once you understand that rejection is just information, just redirection, just training for your mental and emotional muscles, you can start building the life you actually want instead of the life that feels safe. You would ask for that promotion, knowing that if they say no, you'll learn something valuable about what you need to work on or where you need to look next. You would start that business, knowing that if customers reject your first idea, you'll pivot until you find what they do want. You would express your authentic opinions, knowing that people who can't handle your truth aren't your people anyway. You would date with confidence, knowing that romantic rejection just means you haven't found your match yet, not that you're unlovable. You would share your creative work, knowing that criticism is just feedback from people who might not be your audience. You would take calculated risks, knowing that failure is just expensive education. But here's what's really beautiful about the rejection-proof life. It's not about becoming invulnerable. It's about becoming authentically vulnerable. When you're not afraid of rejection, you can be more honest, more open, more genuinely yourself. You can show up fully in every situation because you're not trying to manage other people's responses. This authenticity is magnetic. People are drawn to those who are comfortable in their own skin, who don't need constant validation, who can handle disagreement without falling apart. Paradoxically, the less you fear rejection, the less you experience it. Because you're no longer approaching interactions from a place of desperate need. You become someone who enhances other people's lives rather than draining them. You offer value instead of seeking validation. You connect from strength rather than neediness. And when you do face rejection, which you still will, you handle it with such grace that people sometimes change their minds about you. The call to action. So here's my challenge to you. Starting today, begin your rejection training. Not because I want you to suffer, but because I want you to discover your own strength. Start small. Ask for a discount somewhere. Request a favor from a stranger. Share an opinion that might be unpopular. Notice what happens. Notice that the world doesn't end when someone says no. Notice that most people are actually kind about it. Notice that you survive, that you learn something, that you become slightly braver. Then gradually increase the stakes. Ask for opportunities that matter to you. Express ideas that feel risky. Put yourself in situations where rejection is possible because meaningful success is also possible. Keep a rejection journal. Write down what you asked for, what the response was, and what you learned. You'll start to see patterns, to understand that rejection is not random punishment, but useful feedback. Most importantly, start noticing how much mental and emotional energy you've been wasting on avoiding rejection. Start reclaiming that energy for pursuing what you actually want. Stop living your life in the shadows of your own fears. Because here's the truth that took me years to understand. The pain of rejection is temporary, but the pain of never trying lasts forever. The sting of being told no fades, but the regret of never asking lingers. You have one life. One chance to see what you're capable of, to express who you really are, to make the impact you're here to make. Don't let the fear of rejection steal that from you. Don't let other people's inability to see your value convince you that you don't have any. Don't let temporary disappointments derail your permanent dreams. Don't let the word no become the period at the end of your story. Let it be the comma that leads to your next chapter. The world needs what you have to offer. But it will never know what that is if you keep it hidden because you're afraid someone might not want it. Some people won't. And that's perfect, because the people who do want it, who need it, who have been waiting for it, will never find you if you're hiding. So step out of the shadows. Risk the rejection. Embrace the no's. Because on the other side of your fear of rejection lies everything you've ever wanted. And you are stronger, more resilient, and more valuable than any rejection could ever make you believe. The only question left is, are you ready to prove it to yourself? If this resonates with you, comment below, I choose growth over comfort. Not just so I know you made it this far, but so you can publicly commit to facing your fear of rejection. Because sometimes we need to hear ourselves say it out loud to make it real. And remember, the people who reject you are not your people. The people who dismiss you don't determine your worth. The people who can't see your value are not qualified to judge it. Your people are out there. Your opportunities are waiting. Your authentic life is possible. But you have to be brave enough to risk rejection to find it all. Are you ready?